as what you do, but what's some, like, on the I know y'all are very new, but what is, I guess, some of the main goals that you're hoping to accomplish in the next few years through this mobility authority, like real projects, the things that people watching would be like, oh, that makes sense to me. Can you speak a little more on some of those?
Absolutely. I'll start big picture and then I'll kind of go there. So big picture, the RMA is really the last tool that we don't have in our toolbox, or didn't have in our toolbox as a community. When it comes to dealing with congestion, dealing with traffic issues. So I think it was a great idea and a great plan that was put forth by some community leaders in 2016, 2017 to start to say, hey, should we consider this RMA model? There was broad support from both cities, Bryan and College Station, the county, Texas A&M, the system, TxDOT, to do this, to create an RMA. And so there's a long process that I won't bore you with to get to actually having an RMA standing up. But that process was undertaken, and we got here today. And so then the next thing was, okay, well, what are we going to do? What kind of projects are we interested in? So we had, over the last probably 14, 15 months, have had numerous meetings with City of Bryan, City of College Station, local groups, the county, Texas A&M, TxDOT, to say, okay, what are some projects that the RMA can actually play a part in helping relieve congestion, helping mobility in the area? Because what we didn't want to be was just another, political organization, or government organization, I should say, that's just there with, without any real purpose.
Like duplication.
Exactly. And so what we did is we went and had all these meetings and kind of came up with what we felt like was a consensus for some projects that we not only that would be valuable to the community, but were projects that the RMA could actually undertake. We took those back around to that same group, got, again, consensus that, okay, yes, these projects are some projects that would be great for the RMA. And so what they are, we kind of broke them down into, call it a near-term, an intermediate term, and a long-term project. The near-term project is the intersection of Arrington Road, Greens Prairie, and William Fitch in South College Station. So South College Station has been the fastest growing part of the county for some time now. And there are a number of, call them traffic choke points in that area, none more than that intersection where those 3-4 roads come together.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, actually. I was just down there, and you probably live nearby, but it's just, I don't know. There's a little bit of absurdity there. So
there is, I don't know exactly how it came to be where that happened that way, but it did, and it's what we're dealing with.
Gotcha.
The nice thing is about that intersection is that we can really do some improvements to that intersection without doing what's called a grade separated interchange, where you've got an overpass and an underpass.
I got you.
So that's our intermediate term project, alleviating some congestion at that intersection. That's our short term. The intermediate term project is out around the Rellis campus at Highway 21 and 47 and kind of the northwest part of the county. I would tell your viewers and your listeners, if you haven't been out to just driven by Rellis in the last 5-7 years, take a look. It doesn't look anything like it used to.
Right.
With that comes additional traffic, additional congestion. That's a gateway of our community on the west side of Bryan. And so we felt like it was important to look at, in the intermediate term, how can we make sure that folks can get into and out of not just the Rellis campus, but Bryan and College Station coming from the west.
Right. Okay. Got it. And then longer term, what else are you working on? Yeah,
the longer term project that we've identified is what we call the Inner East Loop.
Okay.
And quickly, I'll try to describe it, but if you're interested in, you can Google the Brazos County Metropolitan Planning Organization, MPO, 2050 plan. And on the 2050 plan, you'll see a purple line that kind of completes what would be the 2818 loop around town. It does include William Fitch. So starting on the south part of the county at William Fitch and Highway 30, going up along the eastern edge of the county and reconnecting to Highway 6 at 2018 on the north end near the Texas Triangle Industrial Park is what we call the Inner East Loop or East Inner Loop. Right now, that's just a line on a piece of paper.
Right.
But as the community continues to grow, I think it's going to be important for us to find another north-south corridor to move traffic and to move people, and then potentially to open up, new areas for folks to move. So again, our longer-term project is that people ask me a lot of times, how long is long-term? I would anticipate that that's a 5 to 10 year before we really have a real route identified and we've done some design and some environmental. So one thing I've learned about transportation planning is that long term is really long term.
Right.
Most roads take 20 years plus from the time they're conceived until the time that they're actually driving on lanes.
Gotcha.
So long term can be really long term.
All right.